Yeah, I know it's daylight in a well-lit kitchen, but if the light's not going right into where I need it, it's kind of useless. So I'm going all mole man minor on this. Can any of you spot what dumb old Drakenfang should have been doing this last time? I should have had my respirator on. But with the amount of fluff that was coming up, I wasn't too worried about inhaling much of it, especially since I had the vacuum going for a good part. But I'm going to fix that because I expect the next part here to probably cough up quite a bit of fluff. Don't take chances with your lungs. You only get one set and you can't return them for a refund. I know. I've tried. now you don't have to go as crazy as I do on this, but I have a plan in mind for this roughening. A couple other things to look at. If you do E's on your epitaphs, they have a small raised spot in the middle that loves to get torn out. Be very careful of the letter E. What else that I have discovered that I can try to help you with so you don't screw up as well? Do not be afraid of making mistakes. If you slash through a letter, if a letter pops up, if a letter rips out, if you completely botch it, that's okay. This is going to be an old, weathered tombstone. Anything you screw up can be covered with 1, a patch of moss, 2, a crack, 3, some weathering, 4, some paint. Any screw up you make can be easily corrected. If you mess up anywhere, don't worry. These are old, crummy stones, or that's what they're going to look like if you follow my method. Whatever. Any screw up can be artistically recombobulated into a funky, cooler looking thing. So do not be afraid of them. I'm going to go ahead and show you a few other techniques you can use, and then we're going to weather the whole stone. We're going to seal up the edges and then start the painting. These things go relatively fast once you get in your stride. So let's switch techniques for a little bit. So let's talk some foam shaping methods here. Anybody who is familiar with foam of any kind is familiar with a chemical called acetone. Acetone is used in nail polish remover, and it does wonderful things to foam. That is to say, it melts the hell out of it. And goodbye. Acetone can be used to smooth out rough sections if you want. I'm going to use it here because this internal section that I dropped down to get these letters raised up is filled with tiny flakes and is a little bit too rough yet. I probably could use my other method of heat with it, but I don't want to distort the letters that much. So I've got some acetone, I've got a paintbrush, and I'm just going to see if I can't smooth that out just a hair, not much. I just want to de-roughen it. Pure acetone will munch quite away at foam, so be very, very careful in your use of it. Like some of this is actually carving a little bit too deep. But as I said, screw-ups will happen. Just don't treat them like screw-ups, and they won't be. A few of these bits I'm doing right now are going to require some fake moss to bring them back to what I would consider normal, because the acetone effect is just a little too pronounced for what I really want here. But this is one method of shaping foam. To get a little acetone, you can get it with almost any paint section in most hardware stores. This will smooth things out. I'm only really using it here because it's a round lettering. And normally I would just use a scrub brush to do this, but I can't get a scrub brush that close to the lettering without tearing up the lettering itself. So a little acetone is my friend. To be perfectly honest, I'm really only using the acetone here to show it off as a foam shaping method. I don't have to be doing this at all. Should probably also mention that acetone is not a chemical that you want to be getting all over your skin and breathing in heavily. So don't be stupid with it. Alright, other uses for acetone. If you want to give your tombstone just a little bit of flair and have some sections that are melted and really look like the weather's gotten to them, you can use acetone to do that. If you are chemically sensitive at all, avoid using acetone, but it's there for you as a tool. I'm just going to add a few swatches here just to roughen up the stone. Acetone is not my primary method of weathering stones. But if you want some spots where you want the years to look like they've really gotten to this thing, that's fine. Acetone is available for you. Bear in mind also that a little goes a long way with acetone. Just a little paintbrush swash will make a fairly deep impression. It doesn't take much. Acetone also evaporates very, very quickly. If you get it on yourself, you don't really need to rinse the area because it'll be gone in moments. But give it a wash afterwards anyway, it doesn't hurt. If you're sensitive at all, use in a well-ventilated area. Acetone does have a particular chemical reek to it. Okay. I've got my base stone ready. I'm not going to do anything crazy else or strange to it, and now it's time to start roughing this thing up. How do we do that? Well, I'll show you. Are you ready to make a mess? Yeah, neither am I, because messes have to be cleaned up. But it's one of the, I don't know, I won't call it an unfortunate stage of tombstone development, but it's one of the stages. We've got a problem, obviously. These edges are sharp. They're clean. They're full of these lines, and we need to rough them up so that it all blends together. We also need to give this tombstone a little bit of wear and tear. So it's time to show you how to do a couple of things for that. First item that you find in most tombstones are cracks. And this is how I make cracks. I grab myself a knife. This one's just my utility, not for eating knife. I normally do this the other way, but I start cutting in and then I just twist the blade. Let's make sure this is visible to the camera. I can't see it worth a damn, more or less. Twist the blade a little bit. Push in, twist. Push in, twist. Twist. This is a crack. This is a crack going off the side of the crack. There's a little crack in the stone. Take these wherever you want them, apply them however you wish. Do not be afraid to go through lettering. The weather is no cure of what's there, and neither should you be. Cracks can come down from the top. Don't need to go too deep, but go ahead and just make the cracks. Crack it up. Maybe somewhere in this stone's history, a whole section just got broken right off. Tragic. Maybe a piece broke off the side. Somebody kicked it. This tree came down in a storm and hit it. I even broke into that nice little section. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. The insulation doesn't care, and neither should you. But you're gonna make a mess. So make sure you keep that vacuum on deck, because you're gonna need it. Let's take these nice edges off the sides. This is a sure foam cutter tool. And I'm pretty sure mine got screwed up because normally you're supposed to be able to go like that, but my blades are all the wrong way. So I think whoever manufactured this thing goofed. So I'm going to do mine the opposite way. And this is going to take these nice, beautiful foam edges and get them down. But Drac, I don't have one of these fancy sure foam cutters. Great. Get some steel wool. Same job. But, as you can see, makes a mess. My tombstone is very old, so it does not have a whole lot of sharp edges. Time has done its wear to it. Your tombstones may be more recent, so maybe they have crisp edges. That's up to you. My haunt, nobody sees the back of the tombstone, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of time into it. What if you want it a little bit more fine, not quite so rough? Use one of these scouring pads. Scouring pads are like foam sandpaper, only a lot cheaper. What a dumbass I feel like. I am going to hit the top sections with a little bit of the steel wool for no other purpose really than to make sure that there is no clean cut edging anywhere on this. And the idea that it's been cut with a foam cutter just doesn't show at all. And now I'm going to grab the vacuum cleaner and have a very boring 20 to 10 minutes, or yeah, let's clean this up a bit.